Did you know that the way you eat your morning oatmeal could secretly turn it from one of the healthiest breakfasts into something that quietly fuels disease, including cancer? I know that sounds shocking. Oatmeal is usually praised as a heart-healthy, senior-friendly breakfast. It's packed with fiber, helps digestion, lowers cholesterol, and keeps you full. Doctors recommend it, nutritionists love it, and many of us grew up thinking oatmeal is the safest way to start the day. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Oatmeal is only as healthy as what you pair it with. Add the wrong ingredients or cook it the wrong way, and you could be slowly turning that wholesome bowl into a problem for your body. And the scary part? These mistakes are incredibly common among older adults. A lot of people make them with the best intentions, thinking they're improving their breakfast when, in reality, they might be doing the opposite. In today's video, I'll walk you through 5 of the biggest oatmeal mistakes seniors make. We'll talk about why they're harmful, what they actually do inside your body, and, most importantly, what you can do instead to keep your morning meal safe and nourishing. By the end, you'll know exactly which ingredients to avoid, how to rebuild your morning oatmeal routine, and how to make sure your breakfast is protecting your health, not threatening it. So, grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle in, and stick with me until the end. You might be surprised at how small changes can make a big difference for your health and longevity. Now, let's dive into the first mistake. Mistake number 1. Adding brown sugar or flavored syrups. Let's be honest, plain oatmeal can taste a little boring. That's why so many of us add just a spoonful of brown sugar, honey, maple syrup, or maybe a flavored syrup from the store. It seems innocent, right? Just a touch of sweetness to make it more enjoyable. But here's the truth. That small indulgence can turn into a dangerous daily habit. Especially as we age, adding sugary sweeteners to oatmeal can raise blood sugar, increase insulin resistance, and fuel chronic inflammation, all of which are linked to a higher risk of cancer over time. Brown sugar, honey, agave nectar, and especially those flavored syrups in instant oatmeal packets. They're basically processed sugar bombs. They spike your glucose levels and flood your body with energy your cells don't need. And when that happens day after day, your body starts producing compounds called advanced glycation end products. These age your tissues and create oxidative stress, which damages cells and sets the stage for cancer growth. For seniors whose metabolism naturally slows with age, the effect is even more intense. Think about it. You wake up, make a bowl of oatmeal thinking you're being healthy, and then unknowingly lace it with sugar that starts your day with inflammation. This doesn't just affect your waistline. It weakens your immune system, the very system that's supposed to find and destroy abnormal cells before they turn into something worse. Here's a real story. Margaret, a 74-year-old woman from our local community group, was proud of her morning routine. Every day she ate oatmeal with a big drizzle of maple syrup and some dried fruit. She thought she was doing everything right. But over the years, her doctor noticed her blood sugar creeping up. She began to feel tired, achy, and even had joint pain. When she finally switched her breakfast, replacing syrup with cinnamon and fresh berries, she not only lost a little weight, but also had more energy and less inflammation. At her next checkup, her blood work improved dramatically. The good news? You don't have to give up flavor. There are safe, tasty alternatives. Sprinkle in cinnamon for a warm, comforting flavor that actually helps stabilize blood sugar. Add fresh blueberries or raspberries. They're naturally sweet and loaded with antioxidants that fight cell damage. Try mashed banana for a creamy texture, with just enough natural sugar, without the overload. The point isn't to strip away joy from your breakfast. It's to make smarter choices so you get both flavor and protection for your health. So next time you reach for that syrup bottle, ask yourself, is this sweet habit worth the silent cost to your health? Mistake number 2, pairing oatmeal with processed protein powders. Over the past few years, more and more seniors have started adding protein powder to their oatmeal. And on the surface, it sounds smart. After all, protein helps maintain muscle, and muscle loss is a big concern as we age. So why not just scoop some powder into your oats and call it a balanced breakfast? Well, not so fast. Here's the problem. Most commercial protein powders are highly processed. They often contain artificial sweeteners like sucralose or aspartame, chemical stabilizers, emulsifiers, and even synthetic vitamins your body doesn't absorb well. At first, it might not seem like a big deal, but when you're eating these ingredients every single day, it creates low-grade inflammation in your body. And here's the scary part. Chronic low-level inflammation weakens your immune system and creates the perfect environment for abnormal cells to grow unchecked. In other words, it can set the stage for serious diseases, including cancer. Now let's talk about the gut. Your gut is basically your body's control center for immunity. When you keep pouring in chemicals from processed powders, you disrupt your gut microbiome, the good bacteria that protect you. Even worse, many of these additives can damage the lining of your intestines, leading to what's called leaky gut. That's when toxins slip into your bloodstream, causing more inflammation, and for seniors, the risks are higher. As we age, our digestive lining gets thinner and more sensitive. So the same chemical that a 25-year-old might tolerate can be much more damaging for someone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond. Let me share a story. Walter, a 68-year-old retired teacher, decided to add chocolate-flavored protein powder to his oatmeal every morning. He read that seniors need more protein, so he thought he was doing something smart. But within months, he started feeling bloated, dealing with irregular digestion, and even getting frequent headaches. When he finally saw a nutritionist, he discovered that his protein powder contained carrageenan, a thickener that can trigger inflammation, and artificial flavors made from petroleum sources. Once he switched to whole food protein, like plain Greek yogurt and a handful of walnuts, his digestion improved, his energy stabilized, and those headaches disappeared. But here's what most people don't realize. Independent lab tests have found heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, and lead in some popular protein powders. Over time, those toxins accumulate in the body, and they're especially dangerous for seniors whose detox systems aren't as strong as they once were. And there's another sneaky problem. Protein powders don't make you feel full the way whole foods do. So you might end up eating more than your body needs without realizing it. That can lead to weight gain and metabolic issues, which are tightly linked to cancer and other age-related diseases. So what's the better option? If you want to boost the protein in your oatmeal, stick to natural, whole food sources. Stir in a spoonful of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt after cooking so the probiotics survive. Add almond butter or peanut butter, but make sure it's just nuts. No added oils or sugar. Sprinkle on hemp seeds, chia seeds, or chopped walnuts for plant-based protein, fiber, and healthy fats. These options aren't just protein, they also give you antioxidants, minerals, and nutrients your body knows how to use. No chemicals, no hidden toxins, just real food that supports your health. So the next time you're tempted by that shiny tub of protein powder, remember this. Oatmeal is supposed to be a simple, nourishing food. Don't turn it into a lab experiment. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, drop a number 2 in the comments so I know you made it this far. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button and turn on the bell so you don't miss more videos like this. All right, let's move on to the third mistake, a big one that tricks a lot of people into thinking they're making a healthy choice. But it actually backfires. Mistake number 3, cooking oatmeal with fruit juice. Instead of water or milk, this one surprises a lot of people. Many seniors think they're being extra healthy by cooking oatmeal with fruit juice, like orange juice or apple juice, instead of water. It sounds clever, right? After all, juice comes from fruit, and fruit is healthy. But here's the hidden truth. Using juice to make your oatmeal is basically turning your breakfast into a sugary trap. Why? Because fruit juice, especially the kind you buy in cartons, is basically concentrated sugar without the fiber that whole fruit gives you. When you drink juice or worse, cook with it, your body gets slammed with a big dose of sugar that hits your bloodstream almost instantly. Think of it like this. If you eat a whole apple, you get natural sugar, but also fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. That fiber slows down the absorption, keeping your blood sugar stable. But apple juice, that's like stripping the apple of everything good and leaving behind just the sugar water. Now, let's look at what that does to your body. First thing in the morning, flooding yourself with concentrated sugar forces your liver to process all that fructose. Over time, this can lead to something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that condition is a well-known risk factor for liver cancer, and it doesn't stop there. Spikes in blood sugar and insulin early in the day set you up for crashes later on. Over the years, high insulin levels are linked not just to diabetes, but also to hormone-driven cancers, like breast and prostate cancer. Let's put a face to this. Janet, a 74-year-old grandmother, loved starting her mornings with oatmeal soaked in apple juice. She believed it was a clever way to sweeten her breakfast without needing sugar. But when she went in for a routine checkup, her triglycerides were sky high. After some digging, she realized her healthy habit was the culprit. When she switched to cooking her oats in water and just topping them with chopped apple slices and cinnamon, her blood work improved, her energy went up, and she still got that apple flavor she loved, without the sugar overload. And here's another layer most people don't think about. A lot of store-bought juices are made from concentrate and include additives like citric acid or ascorbic acid in synthetic form. When you heat them, like cooking oatmeal in juice, those chemicals can interact with other ingredients and increase oxidative stress in the body. And oxidative stress? That's when your cells get damaged at the DNA level, which is one of the stepping stones to cancer development. So what's the smarter alternative? Keep it simple. Use water or unsweetened almond milk as your base. Both give you a clean, low-sugar foundation. If you want sweetness, add slices of banana, a handful of blueberries, or even some grated apple after cooking. That way you get natural flavor plus the fiber and antioxidants your body needs. Add a dash of cinnamon or nutmeg for flavor that feels warm and comforting, without the sugar crash. This way, you're not giving up taste. You're just shifting from sugar water to whole, real foods that actually support your health. Here's the bottom line. Fruit juice might sound like a healthy swap, but it's more like soda in disguise. If you want your breakfast to protect your health, skip the juice and let your oatmeal shine the way it was meant to. If you're still here with me, drop a number 3 in the comments so I know you're hanging on. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. Hit that button so you don't miss the next videos we've got lined up for you. All right, next up is a mistake that seems small, but a lot of seniors make it every day. They think they're making oatmeal creamier and tastier, but in reality, they're sneaking in chemicals that can do real damage. Mistake number 4. Adding flavored yogurts or coffee creamers to oatmeal now, this one hits close to home for a lot of people. We all want our oatmeal to taste creamy, smooth, and just a little indulgent. That's why so many seniors reach for things like flavored yogurts or even coffee creamers to stir into their oats. It feels like a harmless upgrade, right? But here's the catch. Those flavored add-ins are often loaded with hidden sugars, artificial sweeteners, and chemical thickeners that can do way more harm than good. Let's start with flavored yogurt. Sure, yogurt can be an amazing source of protein, calcium, and probiotics, but only if you're eating the plain, unsweetened kind. The flavored versions? They can pack as much sugar as a small candy bar. Strawberry yogurt, vanilla yogurt, blueberry yogurt. They sound healthy, but many of them contain 12 to 20 grams of sugar per serving. That's basically starting your morning with dessert. And what does that do? The same thing juice does. Blood sugar spikes, followed by insulin surges, followed by crashes. Over time, this constant roller coaster increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, obesity, and certain cancers. Now, coffee creamers. This one's sneaky. So many people think, it's just a splash, it can't hurt. But here's the truth. Most commercial creamers don't even contain real cream. They're made from hydrogenated oils, artificial flavors, and stabilizers. Those hydrogenated oils? That's another word for trans fats, and trans fats are directly linked to heart disease, inflammation, and, you guessed it, higher cancer risk. To make matters worse, many creamers and flavored yogurts also contain carrageenan, a thickening agent that scientists have linked to gut irritation and even possible cancer-promoting effects. And as we mentioned earlier, gut health is one of your strongest defenses against illness. When you damage it, you weaken your entire immune system. Let me share a story. Martha, a 71-year-old retiree, loved adding vanilla yogurt to her oatmeal every morning. She thought she was being healthy since yogurt is good for digestion, but she couldn't figure out why she was gaining weight even though she wasn't eating much junk food. When her doctor asked her to log her meals, it turned out that yogurt alone was adding nearly 40 extra grams of sugar a day. Once she switched to plain Greek yogurt with fresh fruit, she dropped 12 pounds in a few months and said she felt more energetic than she had in years. Here's the good news. You can still have creamy, flavorful oatmeal without the chemicals. Try these swaps instead. Use plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt and sweeten it naturally with fresh fruit or a drizzle of raw honey. Swap flavored creamer for a splash of unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or coconut milk. Add a dollop of nut butter, like almond or cashew butter, to get that creamy texture plus healthy fats that support your brain and heart. Sprinkle in some cinnamon or vanilla extract for flavor without the sugar bomb. This way, you still get that creamy, satisfying oatmeal, but instead of feeding disease, you're fueling your body with real, nourishing foods. Here's the takeaway. Flavored yogurts and creamers are desserts in disguise. They may trick your taste buds, but your body knows the difference. And over time, the extra sugar and chemicals pile up in ways that can quietly damage your health. If you're finding this eye-opening, drop a number 4 in the comments so I know you're keeping up. And as always, make sure you're subscribed for more health tips that can actually make a difference in your daily life. Mistake 5. Skipping fiber-rich toppings and relying only on plain oats. Here's something I see all the time: seniors trying to eat clean by keeping their oatmeal as simple as possible. Just oats and water, maybe a tiny bit of sweetener. And while plain oatmeal might sound like the healthiest choice, here's the twist. You're actually missing out on the real power of this meal if you skip the toppings. See, oats on their own are good. They give you beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that helps lower cholesterol and keep your heart healthy. But oatmeal by itself is not a complete breakfast. Without the right add-ins, it won't give you the variety of fiber, antioxidants, and healthy fats your body needs, especially as you get older. Why is this so important? Let's break it down. Your gut health is the key to your immune system, and the best way to keep your gut strong is by feeding it different kinds of fiber. Oats only provide one type. That's like giving your garden only one kind of fertilizer. It'll survive, but it won't thrive. When you skip fiber-rich toppings like berries, nuts, or seeds, you miss out on polyphenols, omega-3 fats, and prebiotics that feed the good bacteria in your gut. And when your gut bacteria aren't diverse, your immune defenses get weaker. That makes you more vulnerable to inflammation, infections, and yes, even cancer. Here's an example. Tom, a 76-year-old widower, prided himself on eating oatmeal every morning. Just oats and hot water, nothing else. He thought he was being super disciplined. But over time, he started experiencing sluggish digestion and occasional constipation. When his daughter suggested adding chia seeds, walnuts, and blueberries, his digestion improved dramatically, and he said he felt lighter and more energetic throughout the day. That small change made a big difference. But it's not just about digestion. Skipping toppings also means you're missing key nutrients your body craves in later years. Berries provide antioxidants that protect your cells from oxidative damage. Nuts and seeds give you healthy fats that protect your brain and reduce inflammation. Flax or chia seeds add plant-based omega-3s, which are especially important for heart health. Even spices like cinnamon or turmeric can lower inflammation and support healthy aging. Now, here's something most people don't realize. Eating plain oats without healthy fats actually causes your blood sugar to rise faster. That spike can lead to a crash later in the morning, leaving you tired, hungry, and more likely to reach for unhealthy snacks. But when you pair oats with protein, fat, and fiber, your blood sugar stays steady and your energy lasts for hours. So what's the fix? Build your oatmeal like a balanced meal. Start with oats as your base. Add a handful of berries, blueberries, strawberries, or raspberries. Sprinkle chia seeds, flax seeds, or hemp seeds. Toss in some nuts, almonds, walnuts, or pecans, and finish with a pinch of spices like cinnamon. For flavor and extra antioxidants, this combo doesn't just taste better. It also transforms your oatmeal from basic to a true disease-fighting breakfast. Here's the bottom line. Plain oats are good, but they're not enough. Think of toppings as your secret weapon. The difference between just filling your stomach and truly fueling your body for long-term health. If you're with me, drop a number 5 in the comments so I know you made it here. And don't forget, subscribing means you won't miss the rest of this series. Now, get ready for mistake number 6. This one is surprising because it's something so many seniors do without even realizing. It's about eating your oatmeal at the wrong time of day, and it could be sabotaging your health goals. Mistake number 6. Eating oatmeal at the wrong time of day. Most people think oatmeal is the ultimate breakfast food. And yes, it can be a fantastic way to start your morning if you eat it at the right time. But here's what many seniors don't realize. When you eat oatmeal matters almost as much as what you put in it. See, oatmeal is mainly a carbohydrate-based food. And while those are healthy carbs packed with fiber, they still raise your blood sugar. That's not always bad, especially in the morning, when your body is more insulin sensitive and better able to process those carbs. But if you eat a big bowl of oatmeal late at night, or even as a light dinner, it can backfire. Why? Because your metabolism naturally slows down in the evening. Your body doesn't burn through the carbs as efficiently, so more of it gets stored as fat. And as we age, our metabolism slows even more. So what might have been no problem in your 30s can start causing weight gain and higher blood sugar in your 60s and 70s. And here's where it gets serious. Consistently eating carb-heavy meals late in the day keeps your insulin levels elevated overnight. Over time, that pattern is linked to insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and even higher cancer risk. That's because insulin doesn't just regulate blood sugar, it also acts as a growth hormone. When it stays high too often, it can encourage abnormal cells to grow. Let me share a quick story. Harold, a 72-year-old retired accountant, started eating oatmeal for dinner because he thought it was light and easy on his stomach. But his doctor noticed his fasting blood sugar creeping higher and higher. Once Harold switched his oatmeal back to breakfast, paired with protein and healthy fats, his blood sugar stabilized. And he said he actually slept better at night, too. And that's another point. Late-night oatmeal can interfere with your sleep. When your blood sugar spikes and then crashes while you're asleep, your body often responds with stress hormones like cortisol. That can leave you tossing and turning, waking up groggy and feeling drained the next morning. So what's the smarter approach? Eat oatmeal in the morning or early afternoon, when your body is most efficient at handling carbs. Pair it with protein and fat, like nuts, seeds, or yogurt, to slow down the sugar release. Avoid oatmeal as a bedtime snack or late-night dinner, especially if you already struggle with blood sugar, weight, or sleep issues. Here's the key takeaway. Oatmeal is healthy, but timing matters. Eat it early in the day and it'll fuel your body with steady energy. Eat it late and it might quietly work against you. If you're still with me, drop a number 6 in the comments so I know you're following along. And if you haven't yet, make sure to hit subscribe, because the next mistake we're about to cover is one of the sneakiest of all. It's something almost everyone does without realizing. And it has to do with overloading your oatmeal with too much healthy stuff at once. Mistake number 7, overloading oatmeal with too many healthy add-ins. Now, this one might surprise you. We've spent the last few sections talking about all the ways to boost your oatmeal, adding seeds, nuts, berries, yogurt, and spices. But here's the trap a lot of seniors fall into. They go overboard. On paper, it sounds harmless. A handful of walnuts? Good. A scoop of peanut butter? Great. Some chia seeds, a drizzle of honey, dried fruit, coconut flakes, almond milk, granola on top? Why not? After all, they're all healthy, right? Well, yes, individually. But when you pile too many healthy toppings into one bowl, you can end up turning your oatmeal into a calorie bomb without realizing it. Here's what happens. Nuts and seeds are nutrient-dense, but they're also very high in calories. A small handful is fine, but 2 or 3 handfuls, that's like eating half a bag of trail mix before 9 a.m. Dried fruit is concentrated sugar. Just a few raisins are fine, but a large scoop is basically like candy. Nut butters are healthy fats, but 2 big spoonfuls can add hundreds of calories. And if you top it all off with granola, which is often loaded with hidden sugars, you've just doubled down on the problem. The result? You're eating what feels like a healthy breakfast, but it's actually more calories and sugar than a fast food meal. And here's the kicker. As we age, our bodies don't burn calories as quickly as they used to. That means these hidden calorie bombs can quietly lead to weight gain, blood sugar spikes, and metabolic issues, all of which increase your risk of serious diseases, including cancer. Let me tell you about Sandra, a 69-year-old who prided herself on making superfood oatmeal every morning. She'd load her bowl with oats, almond butter, flaxseed, chia, walnuts, raisins, coconut flakes, and a drizzle of honey. She thought she was doing everything right, but when she stepped on the scale at her annual checkup, she'd gained almost 15 pounds in a year. Once she scaled back to 1 or 2 toppings per bowl, she lost the extra weight and felt lighter without giving up her oatmeal ritual. So how do you get it right? Here's the formula. Pick 1 protein or fat source, like nuts, seeds, or yogurt. Add 1 fruit, fresh, not dried if possible. Use 1 flavor booster, like cinnamon vanilla, or a drizzle of honey if you really need sweetness. That's it. Simple, balanced, and powerful. Remember, the goal isn't to turn oatmeal into a buffet. It's to make it a balanced, nourishing meal that supports your body instead of overloading it. Here's the bottom line. Too much of a good thing is still too much. Oatmeal is best when it's simple, balanced, and satisfying, not when it's drowning in healthy extras. Mistake number 8. Relying on instant oats and prepackaged mixes. We live in a world where convenience is king. And for many seniors, instant oatmeal packets seem like the perfect solution. Just tear one open, add hot water, or pop it in the microwave, and breakfast is ready in minutes. Simple, fast, easy. But here's the truth. Instant oatmeal is not the same as real oatmeal. Let's start with the oats themselves. To make them instant, manufacturers pre-cook and heavily process the oats. That means they lose some of their natural fiber and nutrients. Even worse, because they're so broken down, your body digests them much faster. That causes your blood sugar to spike quickly and then crash, leaving you hungry again in no time. For seniors who often struggle with blood sugar stability, that's a dangerous cycle, but the real danger comes from what's inside those little packets. Most flavored instant oatmeals are loaded with added sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives. Some packets contain as much sugar as a donut. And yet, because it's labeled oatmeal, most people think they're making a healthy choice. Here's something many don't realize. A lot of those pre-flavored mixes also contain hydrogenated oils, synthetic vitamins, and sodium. Yes, sodium in your oatmeal. That's because manufacturers use it to preserve shelf life and boost flavor. And for seniors who may already be watching their blood pressure, that extra sodium can quietly make things worse. Let me share a quick story. Richard, a 75-year-old grandfather, loved eating his maple and brown sugar instant oatmeal every morning. He thought it was a smart swap from sugary cereal. But after a few months, he noticed his energy crashing mid-morning and his blood sugar creeping up at doctor visits. When he switched to real old-fashioned oats and sweetened them naturally with fruit, his blood sugar improved. And he said he finally stopped feeling starving before lunch. And here's another shocking fact. Independent tests have found glyphosate residues, that's a chemical used in weed killers, in some brands of instant oats. While the levels are considered legal, long-term exposure to chemicals like glyphosate has raised major concerns about cancer risk. Seniors with already more fragile immune systems may be even more vulnerable. So what's the smarter move? Choose old-fashioned rolled oats or steel-cut oats? Yes, they take a few more minutes to cook, but the health benefits are worth it. If time is an issue, make overnight oats by soaking them in almond milk or water the night before. No cooking needed in the morning. For natural flavor, add fruit, cinnamon, or a splash of vanilla extract instead of relying on the artificial flavors in packets. Here's the bottom line. Convenience is tempting, but prepackaged oatmeal mixes are a wolf in sheep's clothing. They may look healthy, but they're often just sugar, chemicals, and processed carbs hiding in a paper pouch. Final thoughts. Closing message. Who would have thought that something as simple and familiar as oatmeal could become either a powerful ally or a hidden risk, depending on how we prepare it? Here's the truth. Oatmeal by itself is one of the healthiest breakfasts you can eat. It's full of fiber, vitamins, and minerals that support your heart, gut, and long-term health. But when we add the wrong ingredients, eat it at the wrong time, or rely on processed shortcuts, we unintentionally strip away its benefits and even introduce risks like inflammation, blood sugar spikes, and long-term disease. The good news? Small, mindful changes make all the difference. Swap out sugars for fruit and spices. Skip the artificial creamers and protein powders, and choose whole food add-ins like nuts, seeds, or plain Greek yogurt. Stick to real oats, rolled or steel cut, and prepare them in ways that support your body, not work against it. Remember, your breakfast sets the tone for your entire day. When you start your morning with clean, nourishing fuel, you give your body the best chance to stay energized, protect itself, and even fight back against age-related health risks. And here's the best part. You don't have to give up taste. With the right combinations, your oatmeal can be both delicious and life-giving. Every spoonful can be an investment in your health, your strength, and your future. So as you head into tomorrow morning, take a moment to look at your bowl. Ask yourself, am I building up my body or quietly tearing it down? That one decision, repeated daily, could add years of vitality to your life. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire you. And most importantly, let us know in the comments, What's one change you'll make to your oatmeal after watching this? Your answer might inspire someone else to take a step toward better health too. Take care of yourself, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.